Today, we're talking about something huge, a technology that's putting the full power of AI into your hands, even if you don't know a single line of code. It's called automated machine learning, or AutoML for short. And trust me, it's changing everything about who gets to build the future.
Okay, so let's get real for a second. You're an expert, right? Maybe you're a doctor, a banker, a marketer, whatever. You see a problem in your field and you just know AI could be the answer. But you can't code. And that technical wall just feels impossible to climb. Sound familiar? Yeah? Good. You're in exactly the right place.
So why is this such a big deal? Well, to get it, you've got to understand the fundamental problem in AI right now. There's this massive, massive gap between how much we want AI and the tiny handful of people who can actually, build the stuff. And this creates what a lot of people call an intelligence bottleneck. I mean, just think about it for a second. You've got a senior radiologist with decades of experience, right? They can spot the tiniest sign of disease on an X-ray, but they can't write the code to teach a machine how to do it. Or a banker who gets this gut feeling about a new type of fraud, but can't build a model fast enough to stop it. All of that priceless, real-world knowledge is just trapped because the tools have been locked away. Well, until now. So how do we break through that bottleneck? Well, the answer is AutoML. And honestly, the best way to wrap your head around it is with an analogy that I think pretty much everyone will get. Okay, I want you to picture a really nice professional camera. You've got it in your hands. Now you basically have two ways you can use this thing.
Building AI the old-fashioned way? That's like trying to shoot in full manual mode. The data scientist has to sit there and tweak everything. The aperture, the ISO, the shutter speed. It's a ton of work. And if you mess up one tiny thing, the whole shot is garbage. But AutoML, that's the camera's amazing auto mode. You, the expert, you just get to do the fun part. You focus on what really matters, framing that perfect picture. You point the camera at what you want to capture, and the camera is smart enough to handle all the complicated settings for you. And boom, you get a beautiful result.
And this right here is the key. This is so important. AutoML isn't just a shortcut. It's not just about making things easier. It's a fundamental shift in who holds the power. We're talking about democratizing AI, taking it away from this small group of technical elites and giving it to the people on the front lines, the ones who actually understand the problems we need to solve. Okay, so what's really going on inside this auto mode? What's the secret sauce? Let's pull back the curtain for a second. The best way to think about it is like a super smart, fully automated factory for building AI. And your only job? It's to show up with the raw materials, which is your data and your expertise.
Once you do that, this system just takes over. It runs through this whole four-stage process that would normally take a human data scientist weeks, maybe even months to do. It cleans up the data, it finds clever new ways to look at it, it pits hundreds of different AI models against each other in this huge competition, and then it takes the winner and tunes it up for absolute peak performance.
Now that second step, it's called feature engineering. That is where the real magic happens. This is where the system gets creative. For example, think about trying to detect credit card fraud. A human might just look at, say, the amount of the transaction. But an AutoML system, it'll test thousands of different combinations and might discover something brilliant. Like the most important signal isn't the dollar amount itself, but the ratio of that transaction to that customer's average spending over the last 30 days. It finds these game-changing insights all on its own.
Okay, that all sounds amazing in theory, right? But does it actually work in the real world? Oh yeah. Let's look at some incredible results, because honestly, the proof is in the pudding. All right, first up, healthcare. We're now seeing clinicians, people with zero coding background, building their own diagnostic tools. It's like giving them an AI co-pilot that helps them see things the human eye might just miss.
And check this out. In a really important study, clinical researchers used one of these no-code AutoML platforms to look at thousands of X-rays. The model they built themselves was able to spot clavicle fractures with 90% sensitivity. That's on par with a senior human radiologist. Just wow.
Okay, let's switch gears. We're going from the quiet clinic to the crazy high-stakes world of finance, where you're fighting fraud and every single millisecond matters. So JP Chase built their own AutoML platform, they call it Omni AI, and the results were just staggering. Get this, they cut the number of false alarms, when your card gets declined for no reason, they cut those in half, so 50% fewer angry customers. And at the exact same time, they increased how much actual fraud they caught by 25%. I mean, that is a total win-win. And for our last example, this one might be the most mind-blowing. It's about an industry that hasn't changed in centuries: insurance. 3. Just 3. And no, that's not 3 minutes or 3 hours. It's 3 seconds. That's how long it took the insurance company Lemonade's AI to handle a customer's claim, from the moment it was submitted to being approved and paid. In those 3 seconds, the AI ran 18 different anti-fraud checks, gave the green light, and sent the payment order to the bank. 3 seconds. Incredible.
So let's just step back for a second and look at this. The pattern here is crystal clear, right? From near-human accuracy in healthcare to crushing false alarms in finance to paying out insurance claims in 3 seconds, this isn't some far-off future tech. AutoML is delivering game-changing results today, right now.
So all of this leads to a really important question about your role in this new world. And let me be clear, this isn't about replacing you. It's about promoting you.
But wait a minute, this is probably the biggest question people have. If this whole thing is automated, isn't it just a black box? How can you possibly trust an AI if you don't know how it's making its decisions? How could you ever explain it to a customer or worse, a regulator?
Great question. And the answer is something called explainable AI, or XAI. And here's the thing, the best AutoML platforms today have these XAI tools built right in. Their entire job is to crack open that black box and show you, in plain English, the why behind every single decision the AI makes.
Let's take a super common example. The AI denies a loan application. So why? An XAI tool can show you exactly why. You can see right here that things like having a low income or some overdue payments in the past, those things push the risk score up. But hey, owning property, that helped. It pushed the score back down. Instantly, that scary black box becomes a totally transparent glass box. And now you can go to that customer or that regulator and explain the decision with 100% confidence.
And this really brings us to the single most important takeaway. AutoML doesn't replace you, the expert. It supercharges you. The AI is this incredibly powerful co-pilot, for sure, but you are the commander. You're the one who defines the problem, you're the one who brings the data and the real-world wisdom. You're the one who looks at the results and says, yeah, that makes sense, or nope, that's not right. The tech handles the how, but you, the human in the loop, are still in charge of the what and the why.
So here's the bottom line. The technology is no longer the excuse. That automated factory is built and ready to go. That smart camera is in your hands, set to auto mode. The only question left is the one that only an expert like you can possibly answer. What are you going to build?